Halloween Horror Nights 34 just got a massive update with one of the biggest leaks in the history of the event. Hello everybody, welcome. It looks like we might finally have some confirmed houses and scare zones thanks to some leaks that have recently emerged that are going to change everything. It is hard to believe that it is Halloween season already and that Halloween Horror Nights 34 in Universal Studios Orlando is just a couple of months away. Usually by this time we already have confirmed houses, confirmed information about the year's event. But this year we are still speculating more than ever before. It is absolutely insane and unheard of. This year has been unprecedented with almost no information coming from Universal. This year's HHN 34 starts on August 29th of 2025, making this the earliest this event has ever run before. And just a reminder, we have 48 nights of Screams this year, starting August 29th, running all the way to November 2nd. And believe it or not, we still don't have ticket information. They were out much earlier in the year in previous events. For some reason, we still don't have any information on tickets. Obviously, Epic Universe is probably playing a factor in that, but Epic Universe is now open, so we are still trying to figure out why we don't have any information yet. This is crazy. But we now have a leak that is giving us some awesome information on what we could be getting from scare zones and some of the houses. We also got a merch reveal from Universal, the new Never Go Alone sort of slogan. They've used that in the past. It's almost starting to become kind of like an overarching slogan for Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Orlando. Will we get another slogan that is more specific to the year? We don't know, but this year we've got the Never Go Alone, which has made a return on some of the merchandise. And in the graphics, we're seeing like vines and roots and trees. And in addition, we've got these black crows that are showing up on the merchandise. So it seems to be some sort of like, I don't know, theme around trees and sort of like overgrowth and vines and crows. So it could be really interesting. We'll see if we get something different, but that's what we've got for now. And this year we are still so close to the event and we're still speculating and we're still talking about having maybe 6 IPs this year, which would be huge, more than ever before. We may only end up with 4 or 5, but right now we've still got 6 in the mix, which is just crazy to me that that hasn't started to go down. Now we've got some new ones for you this time around. A couple have changed, a couple are gone. We've got some new ones back in. And we still have the rumor of possibly 11 to 12 houses this year. It still hasn't gone away. So let's dig in and see what we've got to work with today. I want to start really quickly with the houses and some of the changes that have taken place. We still have the WWE house. This is most likely the Wyatt family, some sort of like Undertaker Wyatt family event. I know that the Wyatt family just got brought back in the WWE and they've made a reappearance. So again, making it even more likely that we are getting this WWE house around the Wyatt family. That one has now moved into this sort of A slot here in that particular location. Now, I'm a little bit surprised about this particular location because we've had some kind of lame houses there in years past, and it's not typically an IP house location, so we'll see. Moving up a little bit higher in the B slot there, we also have a new house, an original house most likely in that space. For now, I am tentatively referring to that as the Deathly Artists house for the year. Don't really know what the name of it is just yet, but it has something to do with some sort of artist, a deadly dark artist in some sort of manor of some kind or house. So we'll see what that ends up being. I'm a little bit surprised at the location here for this one as well, because this one has traditionally been an IP house location. Last year we had Quiet Place, before that we had Exorcist Believer. So having a house there that is an original house like this Deathly Artist house seems a little bit odd to me. We'll see if it ends up actually sticking or not. Moving up again in the C slot, we now have Five Nights at Freddy's. This is the Blumhouse house for the year. Obviously, Blumhouse continues to be a main staple at Halloween Horror Nights. We've had Blumhouse haunted houses, we've had Blumhouse scare zones, we've had the Megan Horde, so lots of different things around that, expecting to get Five Nights at Freddy's at this point. I'm really excited about this one. I think it'd be really cool, and it does make sense in that location. This is where some heavy hitter IPs have been in the past: Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, Halloween. So I'm expecting Five Nights at Freddy's in this location. Moving on to the D slot, this is what I'm referring to as Reaper's Hollow. Still trying to get a real name on this thing, but it looks like it's gonna be some sort of like vines and growth and wrought iron fences and crows. I don't know, maybe even some sort of like cemetery of some kind. An original house, but this might be tied directly to the theme for the year. Like I said, Never Go Alone with the vines and the crows. This house has historically had some okay houses there, a lot of original stuff like Triplets of Terror, Dueling Dragons was there, Fiesta de Chupacabras, so definitely makes sense as an original house location. Now moving over to E, we've got some movement here. This is where Terrifier has now moved into that slot. Still waiting. We were expecting to get an announcement on Terrifier very soon. I still feel like this might be the first big announcement we officially get from Halloween Horror Nights, but so far we still haven't received it. But this is going to be Terrifier here in this location. It's pretty much a guarantee at this point. Now over to F, the Fast and Furious location. This one is sort of new. It's been circulating. This particular IP has been coming around. We've had things like Scream in the mix and Conjuring in the mix. Now, and we also have heard Friday the 13th. It looks like it might end up being Friday the 13th, thanks to some interesting photography that people have taken, some aerial photography, some backstage photography. A lot of rumors have been swirling around campfires and Friday the 13th. We've gotten some shots of like a yellow Volkswagen Bug and potentially a dock being built, which definitely makes sense because those were used in former movies for Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th has always been in the mix as one of the potential IPs. It looks like this location might end up being some sort of Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th house, so another IP we could formally be getting. Now over to G, this is the most interesting one for me, where I have almost the least a bit of information. I keep waiting for more to come out and more people and more speculating. I'm trying to get some insider information on what's being built back that, but it is mum's the word. And I don't know specifically. I've heard a lot of things about Vikings. I've heard things about pirates. And we still don't have a Universal Monsters house this year. It's quite possible they're just saying, you know what, no Universal Monsters house this year. We have Epic Universe, we have Dark Monsters. We want people to go to Epic Universe and see the Dark Universe and all the classic monsters there. And so we're not going to have a house this year, which feels really weird to me, especially not knowing anything about this location. Very little information is coming out about it. And it looks like it might be a cold house of some kind. So I guess Vikings and the cold would make sense. Some sort of Viking original house being a cold house could work. Could also be a Dark Universe or a classic monsters house. This is where the Universal Monsters have always been year after year after year. So it could still be something Universal Monsters, but maybe a cold variant of it, a Christmas variant of it. I'm not sure, but that's all we've got in that spot for now, so we don't really know. Now over in the H location, this is Fallout. It's been there for a while in that spot, Fallout. We're still expecting to get it. We know that Season 2 is coming very soon for Fallout. It's a big IP, obviously. We're pretty sure about this one. Now over into the I location, this is interesting because I've been hearing a lot about like the possibility of bringing Hamikuma over into Universal Orlando. Hamikuma, big thing over in Japan. It was very popular. They kept bringing it back as this big like zombie teddy bear thing. People are big fans about it. It looks like this particular house in this location is some sort of maybe like toy house, like deadly, you know, murderous toy house or something. House could be a Hamikuma like tie-in there. There's, you know, teddy bear, toys. Could be really cool. I'd love to see Hamikuma make an appearance there. We originally had Hamikuma as possibly some sort of like roaming meet and greet, and that is still quite possible over there by Mel's die-in. Maybe some sort of Hamikuma meet and greet there. But hey, it could be a tie-in with this sort of Toy Story, toy box. I don't know why I just made a Disney reference, Toy Story, but some sort of toy box house in that location. Now in J, this is our Slaughter Cinema tie-in. It looks like this is definitely going to be happening. This is Hatchet and Chain's Demon Bounty Hunters, one of the houses that was part of Slaughter Cinema 2 last year. It looks like it's getting its own house, and it's going to be in this location. And then lastly, we're still trying to figure out the Soundstage 24A debacle. We still don't have any information about the use of Soundstage 24A. There was no permit filed for it this year. As we mentioned before, you don't need to file a permit if you're not changing anything dramatically as far as like load-bearing walls or electrical work. So this is where Insidious was last year. We could potentially get Insidious again. That would give us an 11th house if they're not changing it too much. So that could be it, but we still don't have any information on that. Now let's talk about the scare zones. Usually we don't have information about scare zones until it gets very close to the event starting. This year, this is where the major leak has come into play. A couple of years ago, we had a big leak when it came to the houses. There was a shirt that had the design for a shirt that had all of the different houses and things listed. That sort of emerged out there. Somebody had taken a picture of that merchandise. It got out online, and so we knew all the stuff that was happening Halloween Horror Nights that year. This is essentially on that level. Now, this is not my information. I am not the one who leaked it. I am just picking up this leak information and I'm reporting it out. So let's talk about what we've got. In the first scare zone there in the K location, this is basically your entrance scare zone, the one that you see right upon entering, sort of at that crossroads. This is what I'm just referring to as the showcase of horrors. That sort of naming or collection of horrors of Halloween has been used in the past. This usually ends up being some sort of like general Halloween themed location. And it looks like this year, again, we're going to get something similar, sort of like general Halloween theme, but with some sort of like overgrowth, wrought iron fences, crows of some kind. Again, sticking with the theme of what I refer to as Reaper's Hollow, the haunted house there up in that location in the corner, but then also the theme of Never Go Alone with the vines and the crows. It seems like this is definitely a theme this year. Overgrowth, vines, crows, and that I'm assuming that also means that the icon for this year, which could be a brand new icon, one we've not seen before, could have something to do with this particular theme of crows and vines. And so it looks like this entry sort of scare zone is going to key off of that, and it's going to be the general theme for the area and all of Halloween Horror Nights. Now moving up over to the L area there in front of where the Universal Tribute Store is on occasion. This looks like it's going to be some sort of Mafia and Mutants type scare zone. I'm just referring to as Mafia Mutants, essentially a Mafia chase scene with police chasing them, and essentially there's a big accident and they crash into some sort of toxic waste carrying like dump trucks, and all that stuff mixes, so we end up with Mafia Mutants. Sounds pretty cool. I'm expecting big like police cars and trucks and things and crash scenes, police tape, and mutants that have Tommy guns and mafia connections. Could be really cool. Moving over there to M, which is where the Blumhouse Scare Zone was last year in front of Fast and Furious. This looks like it's going to be some sort of like party area, party zone. There's going to be live DJ, and it could also have something to do with roller skates. We haven't seen anything about roller skates. There was a lot of talk about using roller skates for maybe the area in front of Mel's Die-In and a sock hop sort of like tie-in of some kind. That's starting to go away. We don't really know what the roller skates are going to be used for, if anything. Maybe they're going to be used for a house to give some sort of like ghostly gliding behind the scenes effect. Not really sure. I think using roller skates has always been kind of a tough one. There's a lot of people walking through Halloween Horror Nights, and so obviously like skating your way on the streets can be a little bit difficult. Could cause some crashes, so we're not sure where that's going to go, but it could be in this party zone. People spinning around and moving on roller skates. One thing I do want to mention is that it's quite possible that the L sort of Mafia Mutants and the party area could be reversed. I could have them switched. I feel like it would make more sense for the party zone to be there in front of the Mummy because there's a lot more space there for a party. There's a lot more room for a stage where there would be a DJ. This is typically where a DJ or like a stage would be built, where there's stage shows. A lot of scare zones in the past in that area have had a stage. So it could be that they're switched and these two locations are opposite each other, but I'm just going to report on them for now where I have them. Moving all the way around to the end location, sort of bridging that area between the front and back half of the park on that side. This is what I'm calling feral feline, some sort of like cat theme. This old cat lady, essentially, and the cat lady has been in some things in the past. I think she was in Slaughter Cinema or the Tribute Store, somewhere around there. And so it would be really cool. She's some sort of like old crotchety cat lady that turns, like lures kids into her home and turns them into cats that she can control. So some sort of like murderous feline. And this can be really cool in this space because it's a very confined, compact space. You can imagine sort of like doorways and like maybe like a house of some kind. In the swamp when they did last year, they had this like tree house built. And I just like that scare zone. It ends up usually being my favorite because it's so compact and there's a lot of jump scare opportunities. So this could be really neat. And then the last one, which is that giant stretch there by the Bourne Show, one of the biggest scare zones in all of the park. This is what I'm calling Vampire Masquerade. And apparently it's going to be some sort of vampires that are masquerading as other Universal, possibly classic monsters. So I'm expecting vampires that are hiding behind their masks of like Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster and Wolfman, but underneath they're vampires. So this could be really cool. This could be the Universal Monsters tie-in that we've been looking for that's been missing in the entire HHN lineup. So having some sort of like basically Universal Monsters scare zone, but their own twist on it where it's actually vampires under those masks sounds really cool to me. So all in all, these scare zones sound pretty interesting. We'll see. I'm curious to hear what your favorites are, what you're most interested in from a scare zone or house perspective. What are you thinking about the lineup this year of IPs and potential houses? Anything exciting? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Don't know if the Megan Horde is going to make a return. We know that they brought it back, or they're bringing it back very briefly. So it may not make an appearance this year at HHN. It might not be happening at all. We know we're getting a Nightmare Fuel. That's a guarantee. We're definitely expecting to see that again. No update yet on the name of that Nightmare Fuel show, but it's going to be coming back. No information on drone or fireworks again. Epic Universe was supposed to have fireworks, and that got kind of crushed. Apparently there's been some sort of issue over there. We don't know what's going on. So we may not end up getting any fireworks or drones this year, or any sort of water show at all for this HHN, which I think is a big miss. I think that's a big issue. We need a water show there. It really pulls people out of the houses. They can enjoy the water show. I think we need it. I'm not sure why we didn't get it last year, and I'd love to get it this year. Again, we're expecting the Wizarding World Death Eaters to make another appearance there in Diagon Alley, so expect those. And overall, that's the information. Those are the leaks. Those are the information that we have around the houses and the scare zones. Epic Universe is now open, so we're expecting some focus to finally shift over to Halloween Horror Nights and the original parks. But I don't know, we're still not getting any information. No official tickets, no info, no releases of any IPs. It's a little bit weird. Really not sure what the holdup is, but hopefully we start seeing it soon. Thanks again so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Until I see you next time, the Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.